Welcome back to Organize with Grace podcast. Do you feel like you're always struggling to get it together? Do you feel like you're burning the candle at both ends? Feeling completely disorganized in your home and life, that it's starting to affect you mentally and emotionally? Well, you've come to the right place if you need encouragement, easy and simple organization tips, or you just want to know that you're not alone in this season of life. Hi, I'm Grace Ramon, your fellow working mom and professional organizer. I believe in you, friend. You can get it together. Now let's get organized. Hey, my friend. Have a lot of things on your mind lately? I know I do. Recently I have been very stressed out and have really an abnormal amount of anxiety over work because of the workload at this time. And being that February is a short month, um, that makes it extra stressful. So I have just been really feeling it. And when you're stressed out, you kind of just feel it, not kind of, but you really feel it all over your body. Like your body is tense. I know that I gather a lot of my tension physically, like on my shoulder. And also, I find myself taking more shallower breaths. So I need to take the time to just kind of stop myself for 5 minutes and relax. So, do you have a lot of things on your mind, my friend? Before I go off onto a tangent of the physical manifestations of stress, the really important thing that I wanted to talk to you about today is what to do when you have a lot of things in your mind, when there are a lot of things that you have been thinking about, sometimes over and over, and we begin to um, when we think about things over and over, we begin to focus on it. And if it's a concern or a worry, the more we think about it, the bigger it gets. So let me stop you on your tracks before you stress yourself out like I did. What's been happening is, like I mentioned earlier, workload has been very heavy with my day job. And it has really been quite stressful for me. In fact, the other day, and I don't get migraines, and I got a migraine. And I know that it's because of work, but I decided to just sleep. My dear husband was able to take care of our 2-year-old, and I went to bed early and all of that. And speaking of my husband, he and I are both social workers, so we really share a lot of conversations about it. And he had been so patient to listen to my ranting and raving. And then one day he stopped me and he said, "Have you written things down?" And this hit me like a ton of bricks because this is the common recommendation I would give family and friends when they are talking to me about what they are stressing about or what has been going on in their mind, they had been thinking about. I would ask them, "Well, have you written things down?" And most often they would say no. And guess what? When the advice came back to me through my husband, my answer was, well, no. Oh, yeah, that was a big reality moment. So now I want to bring this to you because I want you to have a way to free your mind when you've got lots of things that you're thinking about. And so I listened to my own advice and started to brain dump. Now, what brain dumping is just what it sounds like. You go ahead and get a pen and paper and take about 15 minutes or so to brain dump, meaning anything that you have been thinking about lately, anything that has been on your mind, whether it has to do with your personal things that you've got to take care of at home, or if it's work related or anything, go ahead and take the time to dump it all on paper and try not to edit yourself either. What I mean by that is try not to say, "Oh, that one doesn't matter," or, that one's okay. Don't make an early judgment on what it is that that you have been thinking about and um, needing to put on paper. There is no judgment during a brain dump. It's simply emptying your brain, because there's a lot of research out there, and I can totally nerd out and give you all the research stuff, but our brains are not meant to hold all kinds of information. It's really not. And when we do, we get a headache, like I did. No. But when we overload ourselves and our minds, there's a lot of you tend to begin to get confused. Your memory starts to go, and the results aren't very good. So my solution for us who think a lot, who maybe sometimes overthink, is to brain dump. It's the easiest way to get things out on paper. And then once you have all this, and once you brain dump and it's looking like you have a lot of things on that paper, not to worry, because that's just the first step, because by writing it down, you've now relieved your mind, you've relieved yourself of all these things that have been on your mind, and you've been going over and over on, and that you have put them on paper. You have a bird's eye view. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to do all of these things that are on your list. Like I said, this is just an early step in the process of brain dumping. Now, what you can do next is separate out the things that are time limited. So, for example, if what you have on your list is to pay the bills or pay the mortgage, things that are time limited, those I believe need to take the most priority. And then the rest, you can ask yourself, can this wait? Can this wait another week? And whatever it is that is time limited, schedule that on your calendar. And then the other items that are on your list, now you have a better view of what you need to deal with or not deal with. And this is a good exercise to do. You don't even have to feel the stress of, so many things on your mind. This could be something that you can do on a regular basis, maybe on a weekly basis, so that you can get things out on paper and you can deal with it easier. Because, I don't know about you, when all kinds of things are on my mind, they're all jumbled. They're all jumbled together. They're all just floating around in my mind, and they're not being processed. They're just there. And there's nothing I can do about them if they stay on my mind. I don't have the capacity to process it while it's in there. So putting things on paper is very easy. It's very effective, and it will allow you to do something with the things that you have been thinking about. So I hope that this helps, and let me know if you have any suggestions on the things that you do when you have tons of things on your mind. That's what's worked for me lately, and I am learning my own lesson coming from my husband when he asked me, "Well, did you write things down?" And while the workload didn't change for me at work, at least it gave me an idea of what the priorities are after I've written things down. And it gave me an idea of what to tackle first, second, etc. So I hope this was valuable to you. I hope it helped. And if this is something that you're already doing, wonderful. Keep on doing it. Don't stop. Don't let the stresses of this life stop you from doing a brain dump. All right. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you on the next episode.